Zorch on games. Hello DTube and welcome. My name is Mike the Zorch, and this is the beginning of my blog series or vlog series here on DTube about video games. I like playing video games. My channel on YouTube is about video games. I make video game videos on Gamers Bay, and Gamers Bay is here on DTube and Steam it as well. And today, I want to talk to you about Star Wars. Now, I'm not going to talk to you about The Last Jedi. That's a completely different conversation. Although I would say that the book, there's a line from the book that Leia says to Poe Dameron that if it were in the movie, it would have made the entire film make sense. A single line. One line. One frickin' line. Oh well. I want to talk about Battlefront II. The Battlefront franchise is one of those game franchises that have that gamers just have a close place in their heart for. They love it as much as they loved KOTOR, and it was a good series. It was a good franchise. The first Battlefront was great, and the original Battlefront 2 were great. Pandemic, which was ironically a company closed by EA, created those games, and they were great. They were good. I still play them from time to time. Like the original Battlefront 2, I still play it. It's a good game. And EA's Battlefront 2 was supposed to be sort of a, we're sorry for messing up the first Battlefront game, which they did. And then they had to go and do their crazy, insane, predatory practices. And the gaming community woke up. Now, on my channel, I was doing a show called Cloying the Professor. Now, Cloying the Professor had two goals in mind. One was to use video games as a springboard for other subjects, like politics, economics, spirituality, etc. But it was also meant to wake the gaming community up, to get them to finally realize that they have a voice, that they have power over these big companies, and they can stop them from using their predatory practices by not feeding the machine. Their wallets are their loudest voice. If they stopped buying the games from companies that have these practices that they hate so much, instead of screaming and crying in forums about it, which does nothing, stop buying the game. Stop buying the games. Now, Battlefront 2 did something that I wanted Cloying the Professor to do, and that's wake the gaming community up. And it's woken them up in a big way, more so than I ever expected. They are woke like crazy, and they're not just railing on EA. They're railing on Bungie and Activision for what they're doing with Destiny 2. Destiny 2 is in trouble. They are in big trouble. And unless they do an about face, just like EA has recently done or says they're going to do, I don't see Destiny 2 having a future. And it could be the end of Bungie. And it would all be Activision's fault. So, EA and DICE announced these major changes that are going to be coming in an update for Battlefront 2. And what it does is it actually gives the game a real progression system, where you can actually earn rewards by actually playing the game, actually doing well. And it's not this insane, crazy system that it was before. And the loot boxes, you don't buy them anymore. You cannot buy the loot boxes. You earn them in the game. And you don't get any pay-to-win items out of it. No special weapons or anything. Or star cards. You earn everything just by playing the game. And you can't buy star cards anymore. You earn those by gaining experience points, and then you get these special points that you can then use to acquire new star cards. And the only thing, and there are still microtransactions in the game, in a $60 game, yes. There are still microtransactions in the game, but they are cosmetic items only. Now, you may remember that at some point an EA exec had come out saying that, having cosmetics items and stuff in Battlefront II would break Star Wars canon. And we all know that's complete bullshit, but that was them trying to defend their practices, trying to defend the loot boxes. The reason why the loot boxes were such a big deal is that they mimicked the practices of a lot of mobile games. Now, the one thing to understand is a lot of mobile game companies, Zynga and a lot of others that make big mobile titles, what they will do is they will hire psychologists, and the casinos do the same thing. They'll hire psychologists who will then help them to design systems that are made to encourage people to pay money, that are designed to cater to people who have certain kinds of addictions. Gambling addictions. There are also people who are addicted to shopping, who are addicted to buying things in the spur of the moment. That is a thing. And so the loot boxes were designed using the same kind of psychological methods in order to encourage people with these problems in order to buy them. And a lot of games, a lot of mobile games use this kind of strategy. It's a shitbag sort of strategy. They do it and they make a shitload of money off of it. And they call these people who pay a lot of money whales. If you go to GDC and you sit in some of the panels, they will actually, some of the marketing panels, they will teach you how to exploit whales in some of them. I've seen some. I haven't attended them, but I've seen some of these seminars, and I've seen how to get the most from whales in their descriptions. So they have actual workshops at GDC teaching you how to exploit these people. And it's wrong. And I think EA has finally woken up to that. Well, not exactly. I think there's a few things that are going on here as to why EA and DICE suddenly changing their minds on this. There's been this rumor going on for a little while that Disney was looking for other partners to make Star Wars games. EA right now has an exclusive license, but most of these license deals and contracts usually have fine print. They almost always do. And they usually almost always have a clause. And I would be surprised if Disney allowed a contract to be created with EA without one of these clauses in them, where basically they can pull out of the deal if they wanted to. And EA would have no recourse, because they could claim that EA was breaching contract because of what they were doing. If what they did reflected badly on the Star Wars brand, despite what they did with The Last Jedi, Disney could say that EA creating this whole controversy with gambling in a Star Wars game, which is a Disney franchise, which is a Disney IP, that would reflect badly on Disney. And anything that reflects badly on Disney involving children, because a lot of lawmakers got involved in saying that they wanted to keep gambling elements away from kids, that reflects badly on Disney. Disney is completely, almost 100% dependent on having a good reputation with children. That's their business. Children are their business. Entertaining children are their business. Is their business. And they would not allow something like this. Not for very long. Yeah, they've done some stuff in the past. Disney's been very good at damage control over problems. But if this started to become worse, this whole thing with the loot boxes and with the pending legislation got worse, you know, and I know that it's a far gone conclusion that Disney would pull out. That they would basically throw EA to the dogs. They would throw them under the bus. They would. You know it. I know it. They would do it. So I think EA and DICE making this decision is probably based on that. So it lends some credence to the rumor. Again, it's just a rumor. But I think it's telling that, one, EA and DICE are making this decision. They're changing things like this. Getting rid of the whole controversy about gambling with the loot boxes completely, with this rumor going around. A rumor which Disney has made no effort to deny. They've made no statement. And it's not possible for them not to have known, because everybody has been talking about it. Every major channel, including those that Disney themselves support, has talked about this rumor, and they have never once denied it. Does that mean that it's true? No, there's a lot of things that Disney doesn't talk about. But it does lend a little bit of credence to it. The other thing could be, another reason why EA is doing this is because of the pressure from legislation. There's a lot of things that are going on behind closed doors that we don't see, that we don't get in the gaming news. And there may be things going on that EA knows, their lawyers know is going on, and they talk to their executives and say, we've got to do something now, or things are going to get really bad for us. And there's not much we can do about it. They're going to come after us. And we're going to have to make some changes, or else we're going to have some serious legal problems. And I think that's part of the reason also. But what started it, what got mainstream news involved, what got legislators involved, were the gamers. The gamers who were outraged and angry over what EA did. And before, where gamers got mad and nothing came of it, now things are changing. Now when gamers are mad about something, they're actually doing something about it. And what's going on with Bungie's Destiny 2 is an example of this. And we have Warframe, A game that listens to its community. A game that is the complete opposite of EA and Activision. A game company that's the complete opposite of EA and Activision. And they're getting millions and millions of new users. And they're getting a lot of positive support from gamers. So the gaming community's woken up. They're not taking the shit anymore. They're not taking the abuse anymore. And I think it's about time. It is about damn time it happened. And we need to keep it up. We can't let it stop. We need to keep fighting, because although there is still microtransactions in Battlefront 2, they're not the predatory practices that we saw before, that they had in the game before, that they pulled out because of the controversy that happened. We won a battle. That's all we've done. That's all we've succeeded in doing, is winning a battle. We're still fighting a war, and we cannot let up. AAA industry still has a lot of bad practices that they put into place. A lot of bad practices. And the only way to stop it is for us to keep putting the pressure on. Keep doing what we're doing. Because if we stop, they'll go back to doing the same old thing again. They'll think, oh, we wore them down. Now we can do whatever we want. No. We have to wear them down and show them we're not taking it anymore. That if you're going to keep doing your thing, we're not going to buy your crap. I've been Mike. Thanks for watching. Gamers Bay is one of the oldest and friendliest communities on Google+. If you want a troll-free, family-friendly, video game-centric social media experience, consider joining us today. A link can be found in the video description.